Hey, how are you doing, boys and girls? Welcome back to some more Arc Raiders. And today I want to dedicate a video to my fellow solo players on making trials a hell of a lot easier than it currently is. Because for anyone who's been playing trials will mostly start to realize that playing solo is flawed and you're at a high disadvantage against people who are teaming up and going into squads and doing it over as a team. Now, just briefly, let's just go over why solo players are at a disadvantage for anyone who doesn't know. When it comes to working in a squad, your points all are shared across your team. And so that means that you can cover a hell of a lot more ground and save a lot more time when you're doing your trials. For example, when you go over onto open arc probes, one of the best strategies for arc probes is go into the storm events. And there's a hell of a lot of probes which will kind of just drop down on the ground and you can go up to them. They're normally in a stack of 3. And if you're working with a squad, you all just take one each, breach into it, and everyone now gets those points. Okay? Compared to a solo player where you would have to go to that stack of 3 and you have to breach into every single one. So you'd have to waste time breaching into 3 and then tapping into it to get the points and then moving on. Also, as a squad, you could even agree to maybe split up and take on certain parts of the map, and everything that person's doing on the opposite side of the map is also counting towards you. And this is where solo players are just can't compete against a squad, and it works with every single trial which pops up for that week. So how do we actually make trials easier for us solo players? Hence the title and the thumbnail. And you may be looking at the screen and seeing that, well, I've only got 2 days left of this week and I haven't done a single thing on my trials at the minute. No points have been added and I'm not even in a leaderboard. And this is the whole point. This is how you can make it a lot easier. The thing which I was doing wrong, and I reckon a lot of people who may be in the same boat as me, is I was starting to do my trials straight away. Or, just without even thinking about it, you get some points in your trials and then you get put in a leaderboard. So, first thing Monday morning when the trials reset, I normally used to log on anyway and I would play a few matches before work and then I would get placed in a leaderboard. And that leaderboard would be placed with other people who are pretty sweaty because they are grinding the leaderboards straight away to get the points they need. And I was getting put with other people who had a kind of competitive mindset on trying to get points straight away and building up and working on their trials. And that was where I was going wrong. I was getting put with a lot of sweaty players right at the start. And so they're all playing in squads and I'm playing as a solo player and I was at this huge disadvantage. And this was happening for the last 2 to 3 weeks. People were like gobsmacked at my leaderboard because I was struggling to even rank up one time because it was requiring around 140k points just for me to rank up one time. If I wanted a double pip, I was having to go over to 200k points, which is literally impossible as a solo player. So how do I avoid not doing anything here? That is going to be a challenge in itself. And I would first say you want to work on other things. Give yourself some other objectives at the start of the week and try and just take note of what you got going on here and just don't do them. Right? For example, I was focusing on making my stash value as high as possible, ready for the expedition, which is coming up in about 10 days time. So for me, I wanted to focus on building up my value, getting some more stuff I needed for my stash, and I focused on that more. And we had a bit of fun protecting friendlies, killing rats and taking them down while people were like farming, for example, the matriarch and things like that. We had a good little fun doing things like that. Now, there's going to be times you might think, well, what about, if a hornet aggro's onto you or the pops? The pops, I was just diving out the way and making sure I didn't shoot them. I was just making them explode and then diving to avoid any damage. Okay, and obviously I didn't loot any probes. I didn't do any carryables. If something aggroed onto me and I couldn't shoot it, I used an item which I think most people should have now if you are in the later stages of the wipe. If you go over to your quick uses, you should have these cloaks. You most probably would have either found one, or if you have the workshop under utility level 3, you can also craft them, and they're really cheap. They're only electrical components and speaker components, pretty cheap to run. You can also repair them. Really, they don't cost that much at all. These are really, really handy because as soon as something aggro's on them, you just get this out on your quick bar, play it, walk away from it. It won't be able to see you. It basically turns you invisible to the arc, and they can't do anything to you or figure out where you are, and you can just kind of go and walk away from it, go behind cover, and it will de-aggro and carry on. And that is what I was using most of the time when it came to the Hornets or Rocketeers or something like that, which I couldn't really do anything about. I would just have one of these in my safe pocket and then get it out when I needed it. And when it comes to earning the rewards for this season, if you are still trying to earn them, just something to take note. You don't need to go all the way up to Katina Legend to earn every single item or unlock. The only thing you need to do is get to Daredevil 1. Daredevil 1 has everything unlocked apart from one color. So you unlock the patrol outfit, the emote, the backpack charm, the backpack attachment, the backpack itself, the black eye face style, and the emote. And you'll notice that Daredevil 1, Daredevil 2, Daredevil 3, and Hotshot all have the same unlocks. You're just ranking up after Daredevil 1 in terms of trying to reach Katina Legend, which unlocks you one color for the patrol outfit, which is the Scarlet Black patrol color. Now, a lot of people are going to argue, and we can actually just have a quickly look, because if you go into customizations and scroll down, you can actually look at the patrol outfit just here. And you can see how it looks like. This is what we're aiming to try and unlock at Daredevil 1. And if you try and get to Katina Legend, you get the black variant of it like this. That is what you're going to be going for. And a lot of people, and I agree, I don't think it's a really good looking skin. I wouldn't be using it over the other skins which I have. But I am a bit of a completionist, and I'm quite competitive. And so I do wish I could hit Katina Legend. And I do wish I knew the information I gave to you guys sooner, so that we could have most probably even hit Katina Legend. I only stumbled upon this information recently just because a lot of my viewers don't play the game at the start of the week. A lot of people are busy, got kids, families, commitments and stuff, and so they only start around Thursday, Friday, where they can start getting a few games in. And they was obviously just looking at my leaderboard and noticing that mine was a hell of a lot more sweatier than theirs, and they was at the same rank as me, if not higher rank than me, and having a lot easier time. And this is when I started to kind of put 2 and 2 together and start seeing that maybe there's something to do with, avoiding getting ranked and getting put into like basically easier leaderboards if you start later on. So I hope this helps you guys out. I am going to be doing my trials tonight. So I was going to originally showcase this on the video of me doing a quick one of these trials and then seeing what leaderboard I get put into. But I'm going to do that tonight. So if you want to see me tonight doing this live, we are going to start attempting doing a lot of this tonight. And so if you want to join me, you're more than welcome. We will be streaming both on Twitch and on YouTube at 8 PM UK time. Link in the description for Twitch if you want to join me down there. Anyway, guys, I hope this helps you guys reach the ranks you need to for this season. And I really, really do hope that Embark just consider making solos viable in trials, where we don't have to do what we talked about in this video to just be able to achieve the highest rank if we put in the grind and effort. Because at the minute, it didn't matter if you put in the grind or effort, you still wouldn't be able to reach Katina Legend as a solo in its current way with trials work. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that they do change this next season and they acknowledge it. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon for some more Arc Raiders.